This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Litter Media Live. This is our Fairfield County special edition that we have twice a month on Wednesday. At about 10 o'clock is when it goes out to the community on our Facebook Live page. Joining us today from Visit Fairfield County, we have Jonett Haberfield, and she is with Visit Fairfield County. Jonett, welcome.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. We're glad you're here.
As we have done with other guests, we kind of trying to make a comparison. Visit Fairfield County is kind of like the Convention and Visitors Bureau in a lot of other counties.
That's exactly what we are. Yes, sir.
So what is the message that you want people right out of the gate to know about your great county of Fairfield and the great city of Lancaster?
Well, our office is in downtown Lancaster, but we do represent the whole county. And a lot of people don't realize how big Fairfield County is and how diverse Fairfield County is. We're about 500 square miles. And we're as diverse from Buckeye Lake to almost to the Hocking Hills, and Pickerington is in Fairfield County, which a lot of people don't realize. You know, that's a suburb of Columbus. And so we have a lot of diversity here in terms of our attractions and things that you can do. And we are smack dab between the capital of Columbus and the very popular Hocking Hills. So we see a lot of visitors that travel through and stop along the way and enjoy what we have here in Lancaster, in particular when they're visiting the Hocking Hills. So we welcome people from all over the world here.
And great access with the roadways, highways that run through your county to get there.
Absolutely. The bypass, you know, has been here for a few years now, and I went to school down at Hocking College long before the bypass came by. So I remember driving to Columbus from Athens, and that was not fun, going through downtown Lancaster and up Memorial Drive. But it's a different ball game now. You can zip right through and right past, and we have great access north and south, even on Route 37 that connects from 70 straight down into Lancaster, and Route 204 goes across the northern part of the county. And you know, the county itself is diverse in terms of topography. You know, we have a really flat area up in the northern part of the county, lots of farming still going on up there. But then when you get down into, you know, Lancaster and below, you know, we have the foothills of, you know, what you see in the Hocking Hills, and the glaciers basically stopped in Fairfield County. So it's a real interesting thing. A lot of people hike up to Mount Pleasant here in Lancaster so they can see that whole view. You can see the skyline in Columbus sometimes on a clear day, and you can see the Hocking Hills. So it's a beautiful place to start your exploration here in Fairfield County. You get a nice bird's eye view of what the county looks like.
I've spent many days in your community, especially Lancaster, with high school sports tournaments and things of that nature. And in fact, Dan Ramey was in at Fairfield Union High School, I think 2 of the last 3 weeks. I was in Baltimore, Ohio last Friday night for Liberty Union's game with Tays Valley. And I have to say, I hadn't been to Baltimore in quite a few years.
There's a lot going on in Baltimore these days.
Yeah, it's still a very quaint community, and kind of brought back some old memories.
Yeah.
Speaking of old memories, history is a big part of your county as well.
It is a big part of our county. And there's a great community museum in Baltimore if you want to learn a little bit about that area. And the canals, you know, are close up there in the Baltimore area. But a lot of new restaurants have opened there in the last 3 or 4 years, especially the last year. We've had a new bakery, a new restaurant, and there's another new restaurant coming pretty soon. So a lot of good stuff going on in Baltimore and everywhere in Fairfield County for that matter.
Every community has a major draw, even though you have many different things that people want to come and see. What would you say Fairfield County's biggest tourist attraction is?
Our biggest tourist attraction are our 15 original covered bridges. People come from all over the world. People don't believe us when we say that, but people want to check off every covered bridge that still exists. And, you know, we used to have a lot more than we have now, and so did every other place. But we have the most original ones in the state of Ohio. Of course, Ashtabula County has a lot of covered bridges, but they've built a few new ones recently, where a lot of ours are on the original abutments and the original locations, and we created a nice little travel guide and a driving tour that you can drive around and see. So if people coming, you know, if they're looking at the ones in Indiana, looking at the ones in Pennsylvania, you know, they'll stop here and take a look at ours. And it's a great way to get out any season of the year. A lot of people think, oh, I don't want to do that in the winter, but boy, those covered bridges are beautiful when they're covered with snow.
Do you know off the top of your head what is the oldest still that's standing?
I don't know the oldest one. I know the most popular one is Rock Mill, out there by the Rock Mill, the mill itself and the bridges right next door. That one gets the most visitation. But it's, it's kind of a destination in itself, and it's really convenient because it's right off of 33, real easily accessible. So that's probably the one that most people know about. It's been on covers of magazines and, their posters and things with that, because it's a beautiful bridge and a beautiful mill that was restored. So that's a big attraction. But, what brings a lot of people here are some of the trails that we've created. I'm not talking about hiking trails. I'm talking about experiential trails like our covered bridge trail. But we also have a Route 33 brew trail. We have a lot of craft beer going on here in Fairfield County. We also have a covered bridge country wine trail, but we have fun stuff like a Java trail. You can go to all of the locally made coffee shops here. We also have, this time of year in February, the most popular one is our Sweet Tooth Trail. You can go to all the candy shops and the popcorn stores and the bakeries and all the fun stuff. And that gets you out all across the county, into the small towns. Amanda has a great coffee shop down there. And they also have a great bakery. They might not have a big attraction in Amanda, but they've got two great reasons to go there. And so we try to put all those things together, with a common theme. And that's great for our residents to get out and see what's in the county. It's really good for our visitors. But it's also good for our neighbors, people down there in your neck of the woods. Come on up here and, see what's real close to you. And you don't have to travel far. We all learned during the pandemic that there are great things right in our own backyard. We don't have to get on a plane and we don't have to sit in the car for 5 hours to see great things. So, we invite all your listeners to come and check out what's here in Fairfield County. There's a nice, diverse list of things.
Something that I've asked some of the other counties that we've talked to, of course, you mentioned Hocking Hills, they've got cabins and things of that nature. But what about bed and breakfast locations in Lancaster and the rest of Fairfield County?
Yeah, actually, it's a growing list, and really they're kind of called short-term rentals now, or vacation rentals, because they don't all serve breakfast, like the traditional bed and breakfast. But people are renting out their whole homes or their cottages, especially up by Buckeye Lake, because there's no hotel up there at all. So the only place you can stay is if you got a friend that lives at the lake, or you rent one of the short-term rentals. So we have a very comprehensive list on our website, and it grows weekly. There are new ones that are popping up all over the place. Of course, you might expect we get a lot of overflow from Hocking Hills, because even though they just built a lodge, they don't have enough places for people to sleep there. So a lot of people stay here in our county, and then they just drive. We're only 20 minutes from downtown Logan, so we're not far at all. A lot of people come here to eat and drink and go to our museums and do other things after they're done hiking. Yeah. Or if it rains, they come up here to do some things that they can't do in the rain.
I think a lot of people are most familiar with the main strip there, 33, which takes you right through the shopping areas, the theater, and of course, you're not that far from going on downtown where some of the nice older eateries are, as well as the museums.
Exactly. Yeah. Our downtown is just had a renaissance. I've only been here 6 years, and what has changed here in 6 years has amazed me. I've worked in tourism my entire career, and I've been in lots of places. And I'll tell you what, Fairfield County, they really know how to work together. Everybody supports each other. Everybody's open-minded. Somebody's got a crazy idea, and we're like, hey, yeah, let's do that. Let's see if we can make that work. One of them at Christmas time, we had a local resident who wanted to do an Advent window walk. It was a crazy idea, he thought. He came and met with us. We said, that's not crazy. That's wonderful. Let's do that. So every day during December, a new home was added to this walk with a beautiful window display. And by the end of December, you could walk around and look at a different house. It was wonderful, and he didn't expect to get support from the Visitors Bureau or anybody else, but all the residents in Square 13, which is where all the historic homes are right downtown, they embraced it. They were creative, and it was wonderful. And it was a new attraction for us, new product for us to market to potential visitors, but also a great thing for people to do with their families, people who live here, grab a coffee, a hot chocolate, and stroll around with your kids and look at really beautiful windows. So it's a very progressive thinking community. Nobody slams the door and says, no, we don't want to do that, or that's a crazy idea. So consequently, we get lots of great ideas and lots of people working together. And the downtown has really been proof of that. There are a lot of new restaurants, new attractions, new events. that area on Broad Street. Now they close it down from Labor Day to Memorial Day, or Memorial Day to Labor Day. I always say that backwards. I think Amanda told you that when you interviewed with her for Destination Downtown Lancaster. They plan all the events and help revitalize downtown. And we work really closely hand in hand with them to take their message and get it outside of the county, because that's primarily our job, is to bring new people into the county. But we also know our residents, quality of life is very important. What's great for a resident is even better for a visitor. So we need to make it, make our residents happy and do things that they want. And it's a great community to be in. And I've really enjoyed my time here and look forward to many years to come.
Well, I can tell you from firsthand knowledge that people outside the county are watching what you're doing, other than Litter Media, because your annual church walk that you have in early December, that idea was picked up on in Chillicothe. And they're doing the same thing, but Charlie Frazier was the one that helped get that started, he and his wife, Pam. But that started, according to them, from their experience of your walk there in Lancaster.
Yeah, well, and that's the great thing about tourism. We all share our ideas. We don't see ourselves as competitors. We work really closely with the Ross Chillicothe, with the Hocking, even with Muskingum County, Licking County, because the visitor doesn't know where they are. They don't know what county they're in, and they don't care. They just want to do something fun. So we all work together to promote our region, promote our state, all of the visitors bureaus across the state. We all work together to get people to come to Ohio. And then once they get to Ohio, then you can go out and do all these wonderful things. So, I know our chocolate walk, there have been some other communities that have taken that and run with it. And, they're great ways to just get people out and about and enjoying and seeing things that they've never seen before. And a lot of times, residents don't know that we have a visitor center downtown. So we invite them when they have their visiting friends and relatives this summer. Don't get in the car and go to Amish country. Come in our visitor center and see what you can do right here, or, over in Ross Chillicothe or somewhere close by. Don't spend your day in the car. Spend your day creating memories right in your own backyard. And that's what tourism's all about. Just, having fun with your family, creating memories that will last a lifetime, and telling your friends and family about what you've learned brings more people here. And social media has been, not all of us love everything about social media, but social media has really raised awareness of a lot of great things that people can do and share. And, people share their photos and they're taking selfies in front of murals and doing all kinds of fun stuff. And it just makes for a great weekend or a great afternoon with your friends and family.
Of course, at the time that we're doing this interview, Lancaster Festival just had a big press release over the weekend for their event this July that includes the finale performance from Sheryl Crow.
Sheryl Crow, I know. I was so excited to hear that. I wasn't able to go. They had a reveal event this year, which they've never done before. And I wasn't able to go Saturday. I was out of town. And so I had to see it on Facebook because I didn't get any preview either, even though I'm with the Visitors Bureau. I was in the dark as much as anybody else was. So it's really exciting news. And that's a big homecoming week for, people who've moved away from Lancaster, but it has really become more of a statewide attraction. Because people like Sheryl Crow, you can't see her everywhere for $49 a ticket. Right. With free parking. So, it'll be a really big draw for us. So it's great. And it's just not just those 3 big concerts. And you talked to Deb, I know, in your last interview, but it's 10 days of amazing entertainment and opportunities to see art and, again, share memories with people and get to see people you haven't seen for a long time. And it's a great time to be here.
For someone that wants to come into the community and maybe they're familiar with Lancaster, Fairfield County, but they want to hit those hot spots that you're talking about, what's the best way to get a hold of you there at Visit Fairfield County?
Well, if they want to come in the office, we're here Monday through Friday from 9 to 5. We're right downtown on Wheeling Street, corner Wheeling and Columbus. But if they don't have time or they're further away and they want to do some research before they get here, they really should visit our website. And that's visitfairfieldcounty.org. And we also have a mobile app, which a lot of people don't know, but I know Ross Chillicothe has one too. They use the same company that we use, but that's a great way once you're in the community to just check mark the things you want to see and then tell your phone to take you to the front door. And that's exactly what it does. It takes you to the front door where you want to go. So those are both great tools. We also have social media. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, and those are always great ways to get inspiration, just to see things that are coming up. And, some of our other most popular times of year, of course, is summer, but fall is a really big time here, mostly because of the authentic things that you can do. You can go and pick pumpkins in a pumpkin patch here in Fairfield County. We also created our Trail of Scarecrows. This was, I think last year was year 5 for that. We have almost 300 scarecrows that residents and businesses make and put out in front of their business or their house. And then you drive around and you look at them and you can vote for your favorite in each community. And it's a great way to discover a community that you've never been to. Some of our small towns, they don't have an attraction or anything that brings people there. But if they've got 20, 25 scarecrows, that'll be worth the drive out to Bremen or, up to wherever, Baltimore, Lithopolis. And it's just a great way to see the community in a different light, and also to stop at a pumpkin patch or eat at a restaurant you've never eaten at, or stop and get a craft beer someplace. So it's a great way to see the county, the whole county, by doing one experience. And you can do it at your own pace because they're up for the entire month of October. You don't have to do it all in one weekend. You can do a little community once a weekend, do a different community every weekend, and really have fun doing that. So that's part of our job as a Visitors Bureau, is to create reasons for people to get out of their house and go do things, or come to our community, or stop in our community on their way to or from Hocking Hills, and to leave a little money behind when they're here. And that helps our community grow. The more people come, the more demand there is for new restaurants and new attractions and new things for people to do, which the residents benefit from, because the business stays here, and the visitor just goes home and tells everybody what a great time they have, and then more of their friends come back. And that's how tourism works. And
I've known for years that Fairfield County is the last county fair of the year in Ohio every year. So if you're wanting that last bit of cotton candy, you can always go there. But one thing I did not know was the big party, the New Year's Eve party that you guys had. We did a story on that on littermedia.com this year. And I thought, wow, that sounds like a big deal.
Yeah, we've been doing that since 2019, and it's called the Glasstown Countdown. And it is a celebration of the glass heritage here in Fairfield County. And people all over the county worked in the glass industry, back when. And we still have glass. Anchor Hocking is still a very large employer here in the county, in Lancaster. But it's a celebration where all during the year, residents or visitors can go to the Ohio Glass Museum downtown, and they can make their own ornament, little round glass ornament. They pick out what colors they want. They dip it in the little broken pieces of glass, and then they stick it in the furnace, they blow it, and then the Glass Museum fires it. And then we put it on this giant glass sphere. We call it the giant glass globe. And then on New Year's Eve, we don't drop it because it's glass, for one thing, but we raise it because the community is on the rise, and it's a new year, and we're all excited, and there are wonderful fireworks afterwards. A lot of the restaurants do specials, of course, for New Year's Eve. There's some vendors out on the street, and it's just a fun way to celebrate New Year's Eve. So instead of sitting home watching that ball drop in New York, come on up here to Lancaster and bring your friends and celebrate with the community. And we do have a lot of visitors that come. We've had a lot of good media coverage for that because it's unique, and it is part of our history. And glass is kind of on an uptick here. I don't know if you're familiar, but there's a new store you might want to think about interviewing them, the folks that own Gay Fad Studios. They've actually revitalized and brought back a business that closed in the 60s. And it was started by a female entrepreneur, and she painted on Anchor Hocking glass and other glass from around the country. And it's a lot of mid-century modern type barware, but that store, visitors go in that store and say, oh my gosh, are we in New York? Like, this doesn't look like it should be in a rural community in Ohio, because they have really kicked it up a notch. And they're assembling a library of old, because it's very collectible. The original Gay Fad Studios glassware is very collectible. Mm-hmm. So they now have a little portion of their store that it has some of the antique versions of it. So they're out searching for these antiques, and they're teaching other people how to find them. And then they're creating an online library of all the designs, because I don't know if you've ever tried to collect glass or something like that. You have to figure out, does it have a marking on it? And is this a design I can find in an old catalog? They're actually making that a lot easier. And people from across the country are collectors of Gay Fad Studio glassware. So we're hoping someday we might have a Gay Fad Studio collectors reunion, or start a collectors club and get some of those collectors from around the country to come into Lancaster and, you know, tie in anchor hawking. And I mentioned the Glass Museum earlier. They have a beautiful gift shop, and they sell a lot of anchor hawking products in there. So, you know, anchor hawking, the factory, doesn't have a gift shop or anything. So the Glass Museum here sort of serves as that. And it's a great way to, you know, pick up a gift. And they have a lot of smaller things, and they sell those ornaments too. So if you don't want to come and make an ornament, you can buy one and it'll still get put on the globe, and it can take a ride up on New Year's Eve. So it's a fun event.
Jonett, one last time, how or where do they find your website or your social media?
Sure. We are at visitfairfieldcounty.org. We also have a Facebook page, an Instagram page, and you can come right here to our office Monday through Friday from 9 to 5. A lot of times we're open during special events too. But yeah, that's the best place to find us. You can also call us anytime here at our office. It's 740-654-5929. And we're glad to answer any of your questions. In the visitor center, we have maps, we have all kinds of brochures, we have free postcards. We also have a great display of small models of some of those covered bridges that don't exist anymore. So we have a really nice little selfie station. You can take a picture with a covered bridge model and just learn more that there is to do. And I know a lot of your followers and your listeners are close by. We're not that far away. So hop in the car on a Saturday or Sunday and pop up here and see what's in your own backyard.
Well, good to visit with you. We'll look forward to possibly connecting again sometime later this year.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'd love that.
Our guest today, Jonett Haberfield of Visit Fairfield County, our special guest today on Litter Media Live, Fairfield County Special Edition. I'm Mike Smith.